Since being drafted number 1 overall in 2020, Anthony Edwards has been nothing short of electric. He's not just Minnesota's franchise player, he's their heartbeat. 5 seasons in, he's turned raw potential into pure star power, leading the Timberwolves back into NBA relevance. His explosive drives, confidence, and charisma have made him must-watch television. But as dominant as Ant has been, former NBA stars Kenyon Martin and Iman Shumpert believe he's just scratching the surface of what he could become. On a recent episode of Shumpert's YouTube show All In, the two veterans sat down for a friendly game of Texas Hold'em and an unfiltered basketball conversation. When Anthony Edwards' name came up, both players lit up. "I'm so curious what Anthony Edwards has been doing in his workouts," said Shumpert. "Because if this man learns to play with his back to the basket, oh." The ex-Cavaliers guard leaned back in his chair, smiling as if he could already imagine the destruction Ant would unleash. Shumpert was pointing out something few talk about: Edwards' mid-post and post-up game. For a player with that level of athleticism and power, mastering that area could turn him into a near-impossible cover. But before the hype could get too high, one of Shumpert's guests chimed in, reminding everyone that Edwards himself once said he's not even thinking about that part of his game yet. He said, "I got so many years left," the guest added. "He ain't even thinking about that right now. He ain't thinking about establishing that." That's when Kenyon Martin, never one to bite his tongue, jumped in with a reality check. "For me, his mental needs to change," Martin barked. "That's my thing about it. He's going into year 6. So that's my thing. Just because he's young, he's going into year 6. And has been successful since he's been in." Martin wasn't taking shots at Edwards, he was challenging him. To the former All-Star, Anthony Edwards has all the tools to be great, but greatness requires more than skill. It requires a shift in mentality. If he came in being who he is, the number 1 pick, and they hadn't had any team success, I would hear y'all, Martin continued. But they have had team success year in and year out. He hasn't grown up. Martin's message was simple: the next step for Ant isn't physical, it's mental. Now, that's not to say Martin doesn't respect what Edwards has accomplished. In fact, he went out of his way to praise the 24-year-old. "He has all the athletic ability, all the skills, all the dog. He has all of that," said Martin. "But the approach and certain things you hear come out of his mouth." He didn't even need to finish the sentence. Everyone around the table knew what he meant. Anthony Edwards is a superstar who knows he's a superstar, and sometimes that confidence can overshadow focus. Here's the truth: that edge, that fiery self-belief, is part of what makes Ant so special. It's the same fire that helped him sweep Kevin Durant and the Suns, the same drive that took out LeBron James and the Lakers, and the same confidence that had him calling his shots back in high school. Still, Martin's challenge rings true. The next evolution for Edwards isn't about dunking harder or shooting more, it's about developing the mindset of someone who dominates the league every single night, regardless of who's standing across from him. That's what Kobe Bryant had. That's what Michael Jordan lived by. And that's the next level Anthony Edwards needs to reach. Because let's face it, the Western Conference isn't getting any easier. The Thunder are defending champions. The Rockets now have Kevin Durant. The Warriors still have Curry. And the Nuggets, Lakers, and Mavericks are all hungry. The margin for error is razor thin. Minnesota's window to contend is now. And it's all on Anthony Edwards to push them through it. If Ant takes the advice from veterans like Kenyon Martin, pairs his freakish athleticism with an unshakable mental edge, and commits to mastering the finer details of the game, Minnesota might not just be a playoff team. They could be a legitimate powerhouse. He's already the heart of the Timberwolves. But to become one of the faces of the NBA, he'll need to prove he can be as mentally sharp as he is physically unstoppable. And if he figures that part out, the rest of the league better watch out.